You get home, you drop your bag, you sit down, and you just stare at nothing. Not because you're lazy, not because you don't care, but because something inside you is completely and utterly drained, like someone reached in and turned off the light. And here's the part nobody talks about. It's not just your body that's tired. Your mind is still running, still replaying that conversation from 3 hours ago, still calculating tomorrow's problems, still carrying weight from things you haven't even processed yet. You know that feeling when your phone freezes because too many apps are running in the background? That's your brain right now, overloaded, overheated, and nobody gave you the manual for how to restart it. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Simple, real, immediately usable ways to reset your mind after a long, stressful day. No complicated techniques, no scientific jargon, just what actually works. And before we go any further, if you've been stuck in this cycle for a while, feeling like nothing you try actually gives you real mental relief, the kind that lasts, we have some related programs linked down in the video description below. These go much deeper than what we can cover here. People who are exactly where you are right now have described them as life-changing. But only look if you're genuinely ready for a real shift, because if you're happy just staying stuck in the same exhausting loop, those resources probably aren't for you. Now let's get into this. Picture this. You worked through lunch, you handled other people's problems all day, you smiled when you didn't feel like it, you held it together when everything in you wanted to fall apart, and by the time evening comes, you feel like a phone running on 2% battery with nothing but alarms scheduled for the rest of the night. That's not a small thing. That's your nervous system waving a red flag. And here's something most people don't realize. When you don't intentionally reset your mind at the end of the day, all of that stress doesn't just disappear when you close your eyes at night, it compounds. Studies show that chronic, unmanaged daily stress can reduce your cognitive performance by up to 40% over time. 40%. That means decisions get harder, patience gets thinner, creativity drops, and relationships start to suffer, all because the mental weight just keeps piling on without any deliberate release. But here's the shift. The people who seem calm, the ones who somehow stay sharp even under pressure, the ones who bounce back fast. They're not just naturally lucky, they do specific things to reset, every single day. And the first one is so simple it almost feels too easy. Stop and breathe on purpose. Not the automatic breathing your body does without you. Deliberate, slow, conscious breathing. Specifically, breathing out longer than you breathe in. When you exhale slowly for about twice as long as your inhale, your nervous system physically shifts out of stress mode. It's not a metaphor. Your heart rate actually slows. Your muscles literally begin to release tension. Researchers call this the physiological sigh. Your body has this built-in reset button and almost nobody uses it. Try it right now if you want. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 1. Breathe out for 8. Do that 3 times and notice what happens. That right there is minute 1 of your reset. Now here's the second piece. And this one surprises people. You need a transition ritual. Most people go from work brain directly to home brain with no bridge in between. You close the laptop and immediately open the fridge or scroll your phone or start responding to more messages. And your stressed, hypervigilant nervous system has no idea the workday ended because you never signaled it. A transition ritual is a deliberate act that tells your mind it's now safe to shift. It could be as simple as changing your clothes the moment you get home. That physical act of shedding work clothes and putting on something comfortable sends a real signal to your brain that the mode has changed. Some people take a 5-minute walk around the block. Some people make a specific cup of tea. Some people sit outside for exactly 10 minutes doing nothing. The ritual matters less than the consistency of it. Do the same thing every day after work, and over time your brain starts to automatically begin releasing stress the moment that ritual starts. It's called anchoring, and it's one of the most powerful psychological tools available to anyone. Within 2 weeks of consistent practice, most people report feeling noticeably calmer and more present in their evenings. Within a month, the quality of sleep often improves dramatically. Within 3 months, people describe it as feeling like a different person in their own life. Now here's the piece that almost nobody does but makes the biggest difference. Brain dump. Not journaling in the traditional sense, just dumping. You take a piece of paper or open a blank note on your phone and you write down every single thing that's occupying mental space. Every worry, every task, everything you didn't finish. Everything you're dreading. Everything you can't stop thinking about. You are essentially moving files out of your active mental RAM and putting them somewhere external. And the moment they're written down, your brain stops the constant background cycle of trying to hold on to them. Neuroscience actually supports this. The part of your brain responsible for repetitive anxious thought loops responds to the act of externalizing information as if the problem has been at least partially addressed. The average person has between 4,000 and 70,000 thoughts per day. On a stressful day, that number skews massively toward the anxious and repetitive end. A brain dump doesn't solve every problem, but it ends the exhausting loop of trying to hold everything at once. 5 to 10 minutes, that's all it takes, and the mental relief people describe after doing this consistently is extraordinary. Here's another pattern most people are completely unaware of. Physical stillness after mental overload actually makes stress worse, not better. When your mind has been sprinting all day, your body needs to move to discharge the stress hormones that have been building up. Even a 15-minute gentle walk, nothing intense, can reduce cortisol levels meaningfully. People who walk in nature, even briefly, show measurably lower activity in the part of the brain associated with rumination, which is that voice that just won't stop replaying the worst moments of your day. You don't need a gym, you don't need equipment. You just need to move your body in a slow, intentional way and let the stress have somewhere physical to go. The combination of deliberate breathing, a transition ritual, a brain dump, and light movement can completely transform your evening within a matter of days, not weeks, days. And here's what happens when you do this consistently. You stop dreading the end of the workday because you know you have a way to come back to yourself. Your evenings actually feel like yours. Sleep becomes deeper because your mind isn't still running background programs. You wake up genuinely rested instead of already bracing for the day. Your relationships improve because you're actually present instead of mentally somewhere else. Decisions feel clearer, creativity returns. That version of you that felt sharp and alive, that version comes back. That's not wishful thinking. That's what happens when you give your mind what it actually needs, instead of just collapsing and hoping tomorrow feels different. And listen, everything we've covered today is a starting point. Real, sustainable mental recovery goes deeper than what any single video can cover. If you're ready to go further, the programs linked in the video description below exist for exactly this purpose. They're built for people who are serious about making a real, lasting change. Not just getting through each day, but actually thriving. Most people keep waiting for the right moment. The truth is, the right moment is already passing. If something in this video resonated deeply enough that you're still here, that's not an accident. That's you recognizing that something needs to change. The resources below are there when you decide that now is the time. Your mind deserves more than just surviving the day.